Hey guys, it's Liz here. So I am hopping on right now because I am fired up. So I had just finished watching a video that I will link down below because it is so massively important. And it got me all lit up and I need to share it with you guys. But first of all, now if you haven't read my most recent update on my blog, then you may not know that I decided to spend a lot more of my time creating content around awakening specifically. Again, I created a Kundalini Awakening course. I'll link that down below. But I had mentioned in the blog that it really just scratches the surface of awakening. So the reason I decided to do this video right now is because in the other video that's got me all fired up that I'm going to have linked down below, she talks about having to let go of everything, right? Like letting go of your identity, letting go of your beliefs, just letting go, becoming bare. And one of the things that I talked about in my Kundalini course, and that I feel so important to talk about right now, is about Kali the Destroyer, and with that, which is not mentioned in the course, but also has come to mind, is the Tower card in Tarot. So both of these, when you say, oh, Kali the Destroyer and the Tower card in Tarot, if you're familiar with either of those, even just like basics, right? You know that those are the two things that sound super scary. You get the Tower card in Tarot and you're like, oh my God, my whole world is going to fall apart. And that is super scary. And Kali, what she does, and this is really a video, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, I'm not great on camera. It's my Virgo moon. My Virgo moon likes to have a script or have something written down just to help keep things flowing properly and have things make sense. And right now I'm too fired up for that. I just want to talk. So please bear with me as I try to get through this. So what Kali does when it comes to awakening is that she comes in and she destroys everything, which sounds scary, I know, but please just bear with me. So she comes in and she destroys everything that you don't need. And she rips you down to let me try this again. So some people call what she brings you to the dark night of the soul, right? So you may have lost your sense of identity. You may have, you're going through a grieving process of some kind. Maybe not grieving your identity, but grieving a loss. So you could be grieving the loss of a relationship, or the loss of your job, or the loss of your income, or the loss, just the different forms of grief and loss. And sometimes it's all of these things. That's really what Kali does, is she takes all of it away. She brings you right down to this dark night of the soul. And what she's doing, this is a gift. Now this sounds super scary, and it can be, and to go through all of those emotions of feeling fear, anxiety, and grief is totally normal. I'm not saying don't feel that way or that you shouldn't feel that way. What I'm saying is she does this for you. This is not happening to you, this is happening for you. So she does this so that you have the opportunity to awaken, to see that maybe you didn't need that stuff, or maybe you realize you didn't need that stuff to be happy, or it was actually making you unhappy to have those things, but you felt like you needed to have them. So because that's our programming, that's society, that's parental, there's programming. This is the matrix that she talks that I don't want to say, I'm going to put her name here because if I say it, I'm afraid I'm going to butcher it, to be perfectly honest. It may be a very easy name, but I don't want to risk saying her name incorrectly, so I'm just going to put it here. But what she says in this video that I have linked down below is that we're in this matrix, which is true. And here comes my kitty Misty. You might hear her screaming. She likes to yell when I'm talking. Yeah. Don't knock my camera over. Don't do it. Don't do it. So when we're talking about the matrix, we're talking about society. This is going to probably sound maybe a little conspiracy theory-ish, which is my jam. Love that stuff. But just kind of bear with me. So it's about society, and it's about, like the 1%, and, it's about money, right? And it's about keeping us in fear, because if we're in fear, we're in a box. And part of the awakening is, or the whole thing about awakening is becoming aware of this box, realizing that you're in the box and what that means, what fear means, really, like what the power that society has over us with this fear. And then being able to see it, recognize it, and then being able to overcome it, if you will, or having this sense of peace because you know what these, sorry if my camera is going all wonky, my cat is trying very hard to get comfy on my lap and she's not actually doing it. Okay, back on track. So, in this ramble, I'm talking about fear, and awakening is being aware of how society is trying to control us through this fear. This is the matrix. And so, going back to what I was saying before about Kali and the Tower card and all of that, what Kali does and what the Tower card symbolizes is tearing all of that down and seeing the construct, seeing the matrix, seeing the box that we're in. We're told, from birth what our name is. We're told what our gender is. We're told the things that are good and what is bad. That duality of good and bad, and what makes us happy or what should make us happy, and all of these things. And so the awakening is recognizing these things and seeing the bullshit. That's really what it comes down to. The matrix is bullshit. And I know I can say that until I'm blue in the face, and you don't get it until you go through it. And so that's why I feel it's so important right now, especially now is the time to realize and to awaken and to be liberated. That's the big thing here when it comes to awakening, is that liberation, because you've realized the bullshit around us. And now that you know about it, you have the choice to let it go, to let go of the fear and to let go of the expectations. Hell, it could mean letting go of your identity. I mean, really, if you find that your identity isn't serving you, or that it's keeping you in a box, let that shit go. Let it go. It is not serving you. Let that shit go. And so that's what Kali and this Tower card do. They break all that shit down. They tear all of that down. They tear the constructs down. And that shit is fucking scary. It is. I understand that. You can lose your sense of identity. And that is terrifying. But it's for our benefit. So when we look at Kali and that Tower card and we see that and we go, oh, that's so scary, I don't want that. You do. That's exactly what you need right now. You may not want it, but it's what you need. It's what we all need. We need to wake up from this matrix. We need to see the bullshit so we can do something about it. We can choose something different for ourselves. And so that's why I feel like this is so important right now, especially. We've got the whole corona thing going on right now. As I'm recording this, the coronavirus is big time. Like, I don't know, I think we're in the middle of it. I'm really not sure. Most of us are all still like quarantined, self-isolating. There's fear. My point about this is that there's fear rampant right now. The fear is sky high. And people aren't going to like when I say this, but the fear is what is going to keep this virus going. As long as we're sitting in fear, we're going to continue to manifest the thing that we're afraid of. And so it's going to continue as long as we sit in this fear. And along with that, part of the reason how this all came about, how the corona manifested into this dimension, into this reality, is because of that fear. It's because of the box and the 1%ers and all of those in that construct. So it's the people who have control over us right now that keep pushing that fear button. And so it's manifested, this coronavirus, to keep us scared, to keep us in place, to keep us in the box. What's ironic is that on a spiritual level, this is actually going to turn around and bite them in the ass. As long as we awaken to the reality of what is going on right now. There is, spiritually speaking, there is a mass awakening, a mass shift happening right now in the energy. And that's because we've been put in a position where we're being forced to quarantine and self-isolate and reevaluate. We have so much time on our hands right now, most of us anyways. Not, the essential workers, unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately, are still out there doing the work that they need to do for us. But for the rest of us, the majority of us who are inside and isolated and have an abundance of time on our hands, and it gives us that time to reevaluate what's important. How, can I work from home? I've been told all this time I have to go to work, but right now I'm working from home, or I'm not working right now, but I'm finding that I'm enjoying these other hobbies, or I'm getting creative now, and I'm thinking, how can I, turn my passion into my career or whatever. And we're seeing that we don't need to be in the box that we've been told for ever now that we need to be in order to be happy, or even just, no, I think I hit my mic there, sorry. Or even just to feel safe. And in that same vein, I will be talking more in another video, blogs, whatever, about the root chakra, because this is right in that same vein. The root chakra is all about our sense of safety and stability and all of that. So I'll get into that. This has been kind of rambly enough. We don't need to add chakras We don't need to add chakras to this. So, take a beat, because I know this was a lot. It's probably going to be long. I don't know. We'll see how the edits turn out. My point is that when you notice Kali coming in, or if you're getting the Tower card or some other form of oracle cards that has to do with all this kind of breaking things down to the studs, if you will, in your life. This is a blessing. I know it feels painful and scary and sucky, and there's going to be resistance. That's human, it's normal. But I really want to try and help you see and find comfort in the fact that Kali is doing this for you, not to you. And to maybe do your best when you recognize that this is happening for you, not to you, there will be less resistance, and you'll just allow it to come. You may even want to say something like, thank you for your healing, or thank you for my healing. That's a big one that I like to use. That's an affirmation I like to use, or a prayer that I like to use, is thank you for my healing. So when something feels really shitty, so whether I'm feeling ill or I'm feeling stressed about something, I'm feeling resistant against something, and I recognize it, I will say thank you for my healing, and I will just allow it. I'll just allow it. I'll surrender, and I will allow it. So I guess that's really all I had to say about this at the moment, because that was a lot. I know that was a lot. So I will be continuing to do more content, whether it's like this or in something that is makes a little more sense, a little more flow, probably a script, because when I write, it's just easier for me to focus rather than this crazy ramble. So there will be more content in regards to awakening, but I felt this was really important to just hop on here and have a chat. Please, if you're wanting more content like this kind of content where I'm just talking, or if you prefer something that's a little more scripted and flowy, let me know in the comments. I really do want to know what you prefer. If you prefer this kind of just chatty thing going on, or if you prefer something a little more scripted and something that has more flow to it. Sorry if I keep hitting my mic. But yeah, that's all I have for you right now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.